birches bend to the left and right across the lines of a straighter, darker trees, I like to think some boy's been swinging on them. But swing doesn't bend them down to stay. Ice storms do that. Often you must see them loaded with ice on a sunny winter morning. After a rain, they click upon themselves as the breeze rises and turns many-colored, as the stir cracks and crazes their enamel. Soon the sun's warmth makes them shed crystal shells, shattering and avalanching on the new snow crust. Such heaps of broken glass to sweep away. You think the inner dome of the heaven had fallen. They are dragged to the withered bracken by the load, and now they seem not to break, though once they are bowed. So low, for long, they never right themselves. You may see their trunks arching in the woods, years afterwards trailing their leaves on the ground, like girls on hands and knees that throw their hair before them over their heads to dry in the sun. But I was going to say, when truth broke in, with all her matter of fact about ice storms, now I am free to be poetical, I should prefer some boy bent them as he went out in to fetch the cows, some boy too far from town to learn baseball, whose only play was what he found himself, summer or winter, and could play alone. One by one, he subdued his father's trees by writing them down over and over again, until he took the stiffness out of them. And now, not one hung limp, not one was left for him to conquer. He learned all there was to learn about not launching out too soon and not carrying the tree away. Clearing to the ground, he always kept his poise, to the top branches, climbing carefully with the same pains you'd use to fill a cup up to the brim and even above the brim. When he flung outward feet first with a swish, kicking his way down through the air to the ground, so was I once a swinger of birches. And so I dream of going back to thee. It's when I'm weary of considerations, and life is too much like a pathless wood, where your face burns and tickles with the cobwebs, broken across it with one eye weeping, from a twig's having lashed across it. May no fate willfully misunderstand me, and half grant what I wish, and snatch me away, not to return. Earth's the right place to be for love. I don't know where it's likely to go better. I'd like to go on climbing to a birch tree, though. Climb black branches up the snow-white trunk toward heaven, till the tree could bear no more. It dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good, both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of birches.
What else do I have here? Here's one thing under the category that I pointed out of his personal life. Not too much is really heard about that, and not really referred to in his prose and his poetry. He was married, had 6 children. Not all of them survived. One died in infancy. But when I read to you earlier about his dark side, it was referred to by a critic. He had a dark, depressive side to him, and there's a lot of melancholy in a lot of his writing. And this is a little bit about his personal life, which might kind of make you see where that would come from. So Robert Frost's personal life was plagued with grief and loss. In 1885, when Frost was 11, his father died of tuberculosis, leaving the family with just $8. Frost's mother died of cancer in 1900, and in 1920, Frost had to commit his younger sister Jeannie to a mental hospital where she died 9 years later. Mental illness apparently ran in Frost's family, as both he and his mother suffered from depression, and his daughter Irma was committed to a mental hospital in 1947. Frost's wife Eleanor also experienced bouts of depression. Eleanor and Robert Frost had 6 children. Son Elliot died of cholera, daughter Leslie, and son Carol. The son committed suicide at the age of 40. Daughter Irma, daughter Marjorie died as a result of childbirth, and daughter Eleanor died 3 days after she was born. So only two of out of his 6 children actually survived him. And his wife died from complications of cancer and heart disease in 1938. So this man lived a very solitary life by a lot of standards anyway, and then had been surrounded by a lot of tragedy in his personal life, and that seems, I don't know, it seems to me that's kind of why he looks to Mother Nature, and he also he tries to see the spiritual aspect of things, and I think it was a searching mode for him a lot of the time. That's the way I feel about his work anyway, and it's kind of an interesting insight just to know that he went through all of that. I have a couple more here marked. Let me just find the right ones. Did road not taken? I don't know if she's anything. There's a minor bird. I wished a bird would fly away and not sing by my house all day. Have clapped my hands at him from the door when it seems as if I could bear no more. The fault must partially have been with me. The bird was not to blame for his key. And of course, there must be something wrong in wanting to silence any song. Oh, that was kind of cool. Here's another one there again that goes back to like the ghost house and growing up in that environment that he writes about so often. It's called In a Disused Graveyard. The living come with grassy tread to read the gravestones on the hill. The graveyard draws the living still, but never any more the dead. The verses in it say and say, the ones who living come today to read the stones and go away, tomorrow dead will come to stay. So sure of death the marbles rhyme, yet can't help marking all the time, and how no one dead will seem to come. What is it men are shrinking from? It would be easy to be clever and tell the stones men hate to die, and have stopped dying now forever. I think they would believe the lie. And here's a cute one too. This is called Dust of Snow. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So that is the material that I have today. Does anybody want to share anything else? Okay. Well, I guess I'll do a little closing here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to enjoy Literary Afternoon with the Blueberry Patch Ink Tank. And we thank the Neptune Grill again for hosting us here. We really appreciate it. Today is June 7th, and so it's one of the Blueberry Patch event nights, which they do every 1st, 7th, 11th, and 22nd of every month. Tonight is an open mic night, and so everybody is welcome to come and join. Sign up on a roster, and you can get on stage and do spoken word music. Anything that you'd like is available to you tonight. And they also are featuring a guest 3-piece band that has it's called Electric Suns. And all of that starts at 8 at the Blueberry Patch, and it's a $5 admission for that tonight. And just to let you know, for our next literary afternoon, we'll be doing it here. INKTANK is going to talk about T.S. Eliot on July the 12th here at Neptune Grill. And then in August, we'll be here again, and we'll be featuring John Steinbeck as our author. So keep those in mind. And then further down the road, in September, we are going to feature Carlos Castaneda, and in October, Edgar Allan Poe, in which our friend Michael here will be participating in that. Much looking forward to that one. But thank you, everyone.
Jean, this dream's where you belong. Your golden journey now has just begun with your mother's arms.